Hey everyone, so today we're doing something a little bit different. I actually have enrolled myself in 4 certification courses that I'm completing over the course of the next 90 days, over the course of the next 3 months, and I thought it would be really fun to do a monthly plan with me for the month of October. For any of you who might be taking online classes and you get all confused and overwhelmed on how to approach online classes. So what I am going to be doing today is showing you how I'm going to be planning for the month of October to not only stay on track with the lessons that I have to complete for the certifications. Again, I'm taking 4 of them, but also to show you how I am managing and balancing that. So the 4 certification courses that I'm taking online, plus running my business, She Rocks at College, which includes packaging up these planners, shipping them out, working with students one-on-one inside of my program Study School. I also work per diem, which means I pick up shifts whenever I want to pick up shifts as a labor and delivery nurse. I am a soon-to-be mom. I'm actually almost 4 months pregnant right now. So dealing with that and also maintaining my relationship and my self-care. So we're going to dive into all of that and how I plan for the month to make sure that everything gets accounted for. So again, the planner that I'm using is the College Productivity Kit. It is the planner that I created specifically for the busy and brilliant college woman. This planner was created for the non-traditional student, so someone who's working full-time to part-time while in college or is involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, and school isn't the only priority that they have in their lives. So right now I have the color Brilliant and Classy Black, but it also comes in this teal color, which is bright and savvy teal. So those are the 2 options. My personal choice was the black. And prior to this planner, honestly, before I was enrolled in classes, because I just enrolled in them for this month, I was using a combination of the Simplified Planner by Emily Lay, which is, it's actually a daily planner. So each page is on a day. It does have a monthly spread. But this planner doesn't have any place for me to track my goals. It doesn't have any place for me to track my habits. It's very simplified. That's why the reason the name of the planner is a Simplified Planner. It's gorgeous, but it just wasn't working for me, and I stopped using it actually 2 months ago. And I was using that in combination with the Power Sheets by Cultivate What Matters. This is not a planner system. This is a goal setting system. To me, it's super annoying to have both of these and go back and forth because I like to carry my planners with me. I like to have them all the time, and it was really annoying to have both of these. So I literally stopped using these 2 months ago, and I was just doing like online with Google Cal and Trello. And then I decided to use the College Productivity Kit because I'm now taking classes, and this has goal setting, habit tracking, plus daily and weekly planning all in one, which is nice because I can carry one planner with me, and that's it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to turn to my monthly spread inside of the College Productivity Kit, which looks like this. And I also have Google Cal pulled up on my computer because I do run a business. So a lot of students will book calls with me, sessions with me online. And I also have my assistants and my graphic designer for the planner who I communicate with all via Trello and Google Calendar and Google and Zoom. So it's just easier for students and for my team to have everything electronic. So I do use a combination of this paper system or a paper planner with a digital planner, and I just transfer things over. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to input all of the calls, the shifts that I picked up at the hospital for labor and delivery, events that I have for my business She Rocks at College, And any personal appointments, I'm going to put that into my daily calendar, my monthly spread right now. And the pens, if you're curious, that I like using are, these are the Papermate Flare pens. I don't know if you can see that. I also discovered this year, and I'm obsessed with these Papermate Ink Joys. The only reason why I'm not using this is because this black one ran out of ink. But I personally like putting in all my appointments in black, so I'm just going to use this Papermate one for now. So I'm literally just transferring over everything that's on my monthly spread on my Google Calendar into this paper calendar spread so that I have it with me when I'm traveling. Yes, I can use my phone, but I'm someone, when I'm processing, when I'm brainstorming, I like to write things down. I need to write things down. So I will normally start off on paper when it comes to planning and things like that. And then I will transfer everything else that needs to be transferred for my team or anything like that into Trello, into Google Cal as necessary. But as far as like the initial steps of like projects and like brainstorming, I do it all on paper first. And I also manage my weekly schedule on paper as well, and my daily to-dos on paper. So I'm literally just right now going to transfer all this stuff over. So for a little bit here, it's going to be quiet, but this is what real life planning is like for me. Usually I have music, but because we're on YouTube, I cannot play music at this moment. And LDRP just stands for labor and delivery. If you're seeing me write that down. Study hall is for my program, Study School, where I help college women balance life with college and learn how to create study plans that save them time. And the reason why I like putting all of this into my monthly spread is because I like to see everything at a glance so that I can see how busy my month is going to be. And I can plan accordingly, meaning that I'm not going to add anything extra to my schedule if I can avoid it. If you are here, say hello if you're watching. And if you have any questions, let me know. Monique is watching. She said perfect timing. Yeah, it's the first of the month, so I thought this would be a good day to do this. I am going to go back and color code, but I'm going to put everything inside of the monthly spread first. And I like to color code with highlighters versus switching pens. to February. We are not that far ahead yet, Clarissa. And if you're here, feel free to like grab your planner and plan with me. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour if I can. All right, so everything is in my monthly spread. And so like I said, I'm just going to go through and color coordinate everything. I like to put my LDRP, so nursing shifts, in yellow because that's the color it is on my Google Cal. So I'm just going to go through and highlight that. This is a mandatory class that I have to do for nursing. Same thing with this skills fair. And I pick up more shifts than I think I'm actually going to do because I can get canceled being per diem, meaning that if they don't need me, then they will just let me know I don't need to come in. The next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put all of my personal appointments in this pink color. So I have an anatomy scan for the baby on the 25th and a prenatal appointment on the 23rd. And that's pretty much it for that. And then anything that's related to my business, I will put in this blue color here. So I'm going to go ahead and color code those. So I host most things on either a Tuesday or a Thursday for like calls. Those are my call days. I like to chunk my days so that I can like focus on just one task, one thing, versus having to like multitask and constantly be context switching, because you lose a lot of your productivity and focus when you're doing context switching. So I like to theme my days, like, so Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically call days for my business. So I try not to pick up shifts during those days, but sometimes I might, depending on what's available for me to pick up. And then Mondays, if able, I'll usually pick up shifts at the hospital, but in the morning will be related to business activities, or a lot of it is now going to be dedicated to me blocking off lecture time for my online classes, which I'll show you in a little bit how I do that. The next thing that I like to do is in this space for you section right here, I will just create little notes for myself on what I need to pay attention to for the next month. So it's just kind of like for it to be on top of mind. It might not be something that I'm working on this month, but if I think about it as I'm planning, I'm going to write this down. And one of those things is that Black Friday is going to be coming up soon. So I need to start thinking about Black Friday sales. And I want to start doing that this month because I want to have everything that I need as far as graphic design goes, sales, emails, that kind of stuff, all set up and ready to go for the month of November during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I'm going to put that there. The other thing I need to start thinking about is venues for our baby shower. I need to start thinking about feedback for the planner, because we're working right now on updating this planner for the 2020-2021 version of the planner. Feedback questionnaire. And setting up emails for guest speakers. So inside of my program study school, which again, it's a unique learning experience where for an entire semester, students and I are working together in a group style where I'm helping them to build study routines, balance college and life, stop procrastinating, build better habits, and really be able to enjoy their life alongside of taking college classes. And I like to bring in guest experts. And this, in the month of November, I'm actually going to be bringing in a therapist / counselor to talk about how to build boundaries and actually follow through on those boundaries. So I need to make sure that I'm thinking about emailing the students this month about questions that they might have for boundaries and sending that over to the therapist and counselor so she can come ready to answer those questions with content and things like that. So I just need to start thinking about that. And again, this is just a note section for me to like brain dump things that I want to start thinking about ahead of time. Batale asked, how many planners do I use? So I am right now only using one planner, but I do have Google Cal because I have appointments that students book online to work with me. And so that just automatically gets put on my Google Calendar. So all I do is just transfer it over to my paper calendar, which is my primary calendar that I use on a day-to-day basis. Earlier this year, I tried like a weird system of using this planner in combo with this goal setting combination. You can go back and watch the replay of this planning to see why I was using the both of those and why it wasn't working for me, and why I'm now using the College Productivity Kit, which is a planner that I personally created specifically for college students. All right, so now that my everything is inside of my monthly spread, the next thing that I do is I pick my goals for the month, and I think about the activities, the actions that I'm going to take that month, habits that I'm going to put in place to help me to accomplish and achieve those goals. When I write goals, I write them as though they've already happened. It is a technique that comes from neuroscience. And basically our brain can't tell the difference between something that happened right now or something that happens in the future. It can only process information as you give it to it. So because of that, because our brain doesn't know reality from imagination, you can basically program your brain to act as though you've already achieved your goals. And what happens when you do that is when you tell your brain that you've already achieved something, your subconscious goes to work to make that true, because the one thing that your brain can't stand is being in opposition with itself. So it cannot hold two beliefs at the same time. So what I mean by that is you can't say to yourself, I am an amazing student, and actually believe that and be a poor student, because that is not incongruent. That's not congruent with what your brain believes. So the reason why I write my goals as though they've already happened is because my brain then has to go to work to figure out how I can actually become the person who achieves those goals. And it will start giving me ideas and action steps and start bringing to me people and videos and podcasts and situations and scenarios where I can step into the person who achieves those goals. And that's something that, again, I use a lot with my students to help them to become the college woman that they want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out my goals for the month of October, and I'm just going to write them as though they've already happened. So I wrote down my goals, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking about what I can do, what I can focus on, what I can track each week, each day, so that I make this happen, so that this becomes a reality for me. Because it's not enough to just say affirmations. It's not enough to just say I am an A student, I am an AB student, I was able to get on, I'm so happy and grateful that I was on the dean's list this semester, or whatever it is that your goals are. It's not enough to just have those as affirmations. You also now need to take the actions in order to become the student who actually achieves that. So you can have one thing that you focus on, and that's the one thing that will move the needle forward for you. Sometimes you can have things that you're tracking that don't necessarily directly impact your goal, but will in a roundabout way. So taking care of yourself, going to the gym helps to ease anxiety and stress, so that you can show up more focused and prepared for your classes or for your homework and things like that. So I always think about those things as I'm creating these habits, as I'm creating these plans to help me to become the person who achieves the 3 goals that I wrote down. Some months I only write down 1 goal. Sometimes I have 5 goals. This month I only have 3 goals that I'm working on. One of those goals that I wrote down is I'm so happy and grateful that I created and generated $10,000 worth of income in my business this month. The second goal that I wrote down is I've been having a blast using NLP, time techniques, hypnosis, and success coaching with 10 students each week. And the third goal that I wrote down is I'm so happy and grateful to have paid off all of our credit card debt this month. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on. And so now I'm going to think about these 3 goals. I'm going to think about who I need to be, the actions that I need to take in order to make this happen. So if I place myself in this situation, if I envision myself 3 months from now or a month from now, at the end of this month, having achieved these goals, what would I've had to believe about myself, number 1? What would I have to, what would I've had to have done in order to make this happen? And those become the things that I'm going to track, or the things that I'm going to focus on as my habits that I'm putting in place this month. And each month I do carry over specific habits. So one habit that I carry over all the time is movement at least 5 times a week. Being pregnant, I am just now getting back into consistent movement, because the first 3 months of my pregnancy I didn't have any energy. I was so fatigued, and I'm also not going to push my body. It's growing a baby, so my goal is just to move for 30 minutes 5 times a week. And that just keeps me happy and healthy. It's also as part of one of my priorities. So I have 5 priorities in my life. The first priority is self-care. That has to do with my mental state, my emotional state, and my health state, and anything that will help to improve that. My second priority is my marriage to my husband. My third priority is She Rocks at College and all of the students that I work with, and the planner and maintaining all of that. My fourth priority in this season of my life, because my priorities do change depending on things that come up. For example, when my baby's actually born, family will be here and my business will be bumped down, obviously, because for me, the well-being of my child is more important than my business. So the fourth priority I have right now is completing these certifications. That might be school for you. And then my final priority is extracurricular activities. So my RN position, any volunteering that I want to do, anything else that I want to take up my time. So I always have these listed in order of highest priority to lowest priority. And this is how I schedule my time every single week. The first thing that I block out time for is self-care. The second thing are my date nights with my husband. Third thing are events and things for my business. Blocking off time for my certifications, and then if I have any time left over at the end of the week, I will block off time for extracurriculars. I really don't care if this happens or doesn't happen, as long as these things are taken care of. So that's there, and I'm putting 5 times a week. And inside of the college productivity kit, you can track when you're actually doing these things in the month, and it's numbered from the first of the month to the 31st. and I just put the number of times that I want to do it per week. So 5 times per week. If you're interested in like using this planner, but you're not wanting to commit to the planner itself just yet, you can go to sherocksatcollege.com, and you can actually download, if you scroll all the way, I wonder if I can share my screen with you. Either way, if you want to see what the college productivity kit is like at any point, you can go to sherocksatcollege.com and click on where it says the college productivity kit. And if you scroll all the way down on that page, you'll be able to enter in your name and email, and you'll get copies of the monthly spread, the habit tracking sheet, the monthly reflection sheets, and the monthly planning magic sheet, which we're going to go into in a second, and also the weekly spread, so that you can try out the planner and see if it's going to work for you. I'll also put a link to all of that down below in the description box once this video is uploaded. So that's habit number 1. The second habit that I am going to focus on, or the next thing that I'm going to track, is inviting students to work with me. I want to be doing that at least 3 times a week, whether that's here on YouTube, on my Instagram account, or via my email list. The other thing that I want to do is continue on with my Financial Fridays. So every Friday I have a money date with myself, where I look at all my bank accounts, I look at all of my revenue, I look at my profits, I look at money that's coming in, money that's going out. I will write checks for different things. I will make extra payments to debt payoff and things like that, student loans or whatever. And so every Friday I sit down and I have that money date with myself. It's really important to have a healthy money mindset, especially as a working college student, especially as an adult. It's just a great habit. I love money, and I am not ashamed to say that. Money is a tool, it's a resource that I can use to make myself better as a person, to give back to society, to build generational wealth for my future family. And so I want to make sure that I have a good relationship with my money, that I'm not avoidant with my money, that I don't have a weird relationship with money where money doesn't like me and I don't like money. I want us to be like a really great romantic relationship where I work through any of money blocks that I have, any issues that I have with my spending and things like that. So every Friday I have a money date, and that helps me to stay on track with paying off student loan debt and things like that. So once a week, usually on Fridays, I do a money date, Financial Fridays. So I'm going to keep that habit going along with my movement. The inviting students to work with me 3 times a week, that's something new that I'm adding for this month, and that's going to help me with getting better at explaining what it is that I do with students, letting more students know about what it's like to work with an academic life coach, letting more students know about opportunities that they have to get support and help that they might not be getting in their college or university, or might not be comfortable with, because it goes so much deeper than just learning how to write notes and things like that. True transformation and change happens from the inside out, and we work a lot on reprogramming your subconscious mind so that you can start acting like the person that you want to be, stop self-sabotaging and procrastinating, and really learn how to transform your life for good, so that you have those tools and habits, so that when you graduate college, you can then use those same tools that I teach to help you advance in your career, to earn more money, and to continue to grow and to expand yourself as a person. So that is another habit that I'm going to put in place. And then the other thing is I want to practice the tools that I'm learning inside of my certification courses, and I want to be practicing these tools at least once a week. This is a process that's called quiz and recall, or testing to make sure. So I'm spending a lot of money taking these certification courses in neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about your subconscious brain, how your subconscious brain works and how to reprogram your subconscious brain. I am doing a hypnosis certification so I can learn how to take students deep into a hypnotic state so that they can learn to clear out any negative energy that might be preventing them from really stepping into their worth and stepping into their potential. Also doing a certification on time techniques, emotional freedom techniques. Those are combined together, and life and success coaching. So those are the online courses that I'm taking right now, those certifications. And in order for me to get really good at them, in order for me to be a master at them, I need to practice using these techniques. And the number one person that I'm going to be practicing them on is myself, and also with my students, because if I can transform my own life using these tools, then I know that I can transform the lives of other people. And so I'm really good at my job as an academic life coach, but it's always nice to have other tools, and I'm always perfecting my craft. I'm always investing money in becoming a better coach and having tools and resources that I can use to help other people. And so I want to be practicing these tools at least once a week, do my quiz and recall with these, because I do have to, at the end of these certifications, take a test that I've actually mastered them, that I learned them. And so that won't be happening until June of 2020. I picked the furthest state because I'm pregnant and I'm going to have a baby, and I wanted to give myself honor this process that I'm in. This is my first baby. I don't know what this experience is going to be like. And so I want to give myself ample amount of time to not only get through the course material, but also practice it, utilize it with my students and myself, create the changes, create the testimonials of this stuff actually working, and then being prepared to take those certification exams in June of 2020, which will be about 3 months after I give birth. And of course, my baby's going to be coming with me because I'm not going to be leaving her behind. We are having a girl. So that's it. That's all I'm going to be focusing on for the month of October. So moving for 30 minutes 5 times a week. When I'm exercising regularly and I'm moving regularly, I tend to eat better. So that's why eating isn't really like one of those habits. I pick one or the other. I'm either, because if I eat really well, I tend to want to work out. If I work out, I tend to want to eat better. So I pick one or the other to really focus on. This month it's going to be moving for 30 minutes because I haven't been moving for the past 3 months of this pregnancy. And I'm going to be inviting students to work with me at least 3 times a week through the various different channels that I have. Financial Fridays is going to happen no matter what. I've been doing that for the past, 5 years. I'm going to practice the tools that I'm learning inside of my courses. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to move into is actually planning out my course schedules for each of the different classes that I'm taking. So right here, I do have the checklist of all the lessons that I need to get through, all of the videos and lectures that I need to get through in order to be able to know everything that I need to know and to take the certification exams in June. So what I am doing, and this is something that's really important for you to pay attention to if you're taking online classes. Students get freaked out with online classes, and I personally don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm an academic life coach and I understand how this stuff works, but you going to campus and sitting in lecture is no different than you sitting down in your home watching a lecture online. The only difference is when you physically have to be on campus, someone is dictating the time and place. When you're taking an online class, you are dictating the time and place. So unless you're taking a time exam, typically you don't have to be sitting at a computer at a specific time and date. And that's the beauty of online classes, is that you can do it and you can work it around your work schedule, around your life, around your kids' schedule, etc. But so many students freak out about online classes because they don't know how to manage their time. All you have to do is look at your calendar, look at your day, and say to yourself, okay, from 12 to 1, I'm going to work on stuff for class A. From from 6 to 7, after dinner's eaten, the kids are in the room and they're in bed, I'm gonna sit down and write and watch the lecture for class B, etc. It really isn't that complicated when you think about it. All you have to do is know what needs to get done, break it down for yourself, which is what this monthly planning spreadsheet is all about, and then you're plugging it into your weekly spread, which is what I'm going to be doing. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at, I've already started some of the videos. I've already watched and taken notes for 3 of them. So what I'm going to do is just hop online and I want to see how long these videos are so that I can roughly give myself a decent amount of time to actually get through it. So the first class is NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. The second class is Hypnosis. My third class is Life and Success Coaching. Yep. And then my last class is EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. And again, these are all certifications. So we are in the first month, the first week of October. So I am, I've already watched 3 videos, but I want to get through video number 4. So the first thing that I'm going to write down is that for my NLP class, this first week, I want to get through video 4. Video 4. All right, and if I want to do this in 8 weeks, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 courses, 11 lessons left, and I want to finish this course in 8 weeks. 11 divided by 8. So I need to get through about 1.5 lectures per week. So video 4 I'll do on this week. Lesson 5. And so I'll do that on week 2. And let me just see how busy that week is going to be in my calendar. So I have a lot going on, so that's probably all I'm going to be able to get through, honestly. But I can do more on week 3 of the month. So I'm going to do lesson 6 and lesson 7. And let me just go online, like I said, to see how long these lectures are for each of these courses. All right, so they're each about an hour. So they're each about an hour. And then week 4, I'm going to do lesson 8 and lesson 9. And then the last week of the month, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll do lesson 10 and lesson 12. So that's just for one of the classes. That's everything that I need to get done each week for one of the classes. For my next class, which is the hypnosis class, I just need to go in and check to see how long those lectures are. And there are 8, so it's probably going to be like 1 a week. But I just want to see how much time I need to give myself. All right, so yeah, lesson 1 is like a 2-hour lecture. Yes, it's about an hour. The longest one is the first lesson. So I need to give myself an hour. So I'm going to pretend that I have lecture for an hour to 2 hours, depending on how long the lessons are. So this week, I'm going to cover lesson 1 in that course, and I'm just going to put 2 hours so I know that's how long I need to give myself. Lesson 2, I'm going to cover on week 2. Lesson 3 on week 3. Lesson 4 on week 4. And lesson 5 on week 5. So then I have to go to my next course, which is Life and Success Coaching. And for that course, there are also 8 sessions, so it's probably going to be 1 a week. So let me go back here. Just want to see how long these are typically. I'm guessing about an hour. It seems like that's the norm. And the reason why it's important for me to know how long these lecture times are is because, again, I'm going to be treating it as though I'm going to lecture during that time, which means that I need to block off an hour to 2 hours to sit in lecture, which is just going to be me at a coffee shop or me here at my desk, taking notes, watching the lecture, so that I have the content and the material that I need in order to practice this information later, or do what I call testing to make sure, which is also known as quiz and recall, so that I make sure that I not only am I listening to these lectures and taking notes, but I actually know and understand this information and can articulate and use it and be able to answer questions when I go and take the certification, because the certification is a combination of a written test plus me also showing these skills and demonstrating that I know that I have these skills down. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is if I carve out time to practice these skills, which I'm going to have to do pretty much at the end of each week with each of the lessons that I go through. And again, all I'm doing is I'm just taking what's in front of me. This is my syllabus, and I'm breaking it down week by week so that I know what needs to be done. And so that when I'm planning my weeks on Sunday, I can block off the time necessary to work through those lessons, take my notes, and make sure that I have time to practice it. Okay, yeah, so these are about an hour too, like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. So I'm going to do lesson 1 on week 1, lesson 2 on week 2, lesson 3, and lesson 5. And then my EFT class is actually only four sessions. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually not gonna start those until week 4, so until the last week of October, because like I said, I want to finish this in an 8-week period, but I also don't want to overwhelm myself. And the luxury that I have is that this is an online class and I can take it at my own pace. So why wouldn't I slow down if I can slow down? So I'm actually going to start that EFT training at the end of the month or towards the end of the month. So my first lesson for that EFT class won't actually be until the 4th week of the month. So it'll just be like that class is starting a little bit later in the semester per se. And so that will be it, which will work out nicely because towards the end of the month, I'm doing 2 lessons per week in in my NLP class. So that'll be great. Okay. So now that I have this all broken down, and just an FYI, this space right here is if you had like monthly exams that you have to take, or you have projects or things inside of your classes that you have to do, you can fill that in here. What I'm actually going to be placing in here are the so remember how I said that I need to show proof that I know how to use the principles and techniques that I'm learning in these classes for my certification? Well, inside of my syllabus, I have it broken down where I have to prove all these things. So by the end of the month, I want to make sure that I have these practices down. So I'm going to fill that out. But for the sake of keeping this under an hour, and we're already at almost 50 minutes, I'm going to leave that for myself for later, because I want to show you how I plan out my actual week and my weekly spread. So let's flip to this week. So this is what the weekly spread inside of the College Productivity Kit looks like. Up at the top is where you're going to keep track of your actual day, hour by hour time. This section right here is for me to brain dump any to-dos that I have, and then I like to pick out the top 3 things that I'm going to be focusing on that day based off of how much time I have. So the first thing that I do is I block off anything that is set in stone inside of my calendar for that week. So let me pull up my Google Cal and turn to my weekly spread so that I can see what I have going on this week. So yesterday, I had a call for study school. I have nothing on my calendar for today. Oh, actually, I'm going to the movie date with my husband and one of his friends. Tomorrow, I have nothing going on. Wednesday, I have a call at 12 p.m. Oops, not Wednesday, that's Thursday. Dang it. Okay, just gonna cross it off. Thursday, I have a call at 12 p.m. And then I am going to be at the hospital from 3 to 11. And then Friday, I'm going to be at the hospital from 3 to 11. But my morning is free. So I'll do my Financial Friday during the morning. And then Saturday is completely open. But on Sunday, I picked up a shift at the hospital from 7 in the morning to 3 p.m. So I'm going to put that in. And then what I like to do is I like to take my highlighter. So these are the mild liners. See if you can see that. Mild liners by Zebra. And one side looks like this. And then the other side is like a fine tip point that looks like this. And so I will just color code and block off the time. Kind of like how it looks on Google Cal, where you have the blocks, because I like to be able to see my time, how much white space I actually have. Okay, so when I do it like this, it helps me to visually see like when I actually have time and space to take action, to like go to lecture, to do homework, to practice and things like that. So all the white space here is time that I have control over. So this is where my priorities come really in handy, because the very first thing that I'm going to schedule is my self-care time. So I like to go to the gym in the morning. I usually wake up at around 8, and I'll go to the gym at around 10. Today I went to the gym at around 10. So I just like to put movement. Because sometimes I go to the gym, sometimes I just go for a walk outside. And again, I'm only doing that 5 days a week. And around 10 o'clock is the time. And I'm just going to color coordinate self-care in green. All right. So that is that. Saturday is going to be completely blocked off because that is my day to just chill and hang out with my husband. It would have been Sunday, but I picked up a shift on Sunday, so it's going to be Saturday. So I'm just going to leave that completely blank. That's going to be my free time. The next thing that I'm going to do is schedule in when I actually am going to be working on my business stuff. Because that is my second priority. So, my third priority. So my second priority was my marriage. So my date day is Saturday. That's already blocked off. And just for the hell of it, I'm going to block it off so that you guys can actually see what it looks like. So it is off limits for studying. It is off limits for business related activities. It is just 100% dedicated to me building my marriage. So the next thing, like I said, that I'm going to do is figure out when are my business hours going to be. So we are going to have business hours. I had business hours all day Monday. I'm having business hours today. I packaged up a bunch of planners which are on this side of my room right now, which I need to go and drop off. So my business hours are up until 5 p.m. today. So I'll block that off. And then I'll also have business hours tomorrow from 1 to 3. Which means that school stuff is going to have to happen between 11 and 12 p.m. And I don't have any white out right now. So I'm just going to put school. And we will use this color. I'm also going to do school stuff on Friday. So I'm going to block off 2 hours for my Financial Friday. And I can watch lecture. During the hour before I have to go to work. And then what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna do more school. On Wednesday, because Wednesday is pretty open. So tomorrow is pretty open. So I just want to make sure that I have enough time to actually watch those lectures. So basically I just pretend that it's time. So what I'm going to do now is just transfer over the things that I need to get done for my NLP class. And I'm just categorizing it. Down here you can brain dump by category. So I'm just going to put all the names of my classes, home stuff, and this will just be like if I need to do laundry, grocery shopping, etc. I'll just brain dump whatever else I need to do for my home. EFT, life and success, and hypnosis. And so all I do is I flip over to the week 1. So NLP video 4. Hypnosis is lesson 1. EFT, we have nothing because I'm not starting that until week 4. But life and success, we have lesson 1. And then as far as home stuff goes, I need to wash our sheets. I need to go grocery shopping. And I need to do my home cleaning, including cleaning out the fridge, clean fridge. For She Rocks at College, I need to create the survey for the planner updates. I also need to get IG captions to graphic designer. What else do I need to do for the business? The nice thing is that I have systems built in to my business, so a lot of my work is actually just working directly with the students, which is really nice. I feel like I'm missing something that I need to get done this week. Oh, I want to brainstorm Black Friday sales. Okay. And so the way that I personally like to plan out my to-dos for each day is I'll do it in the morning. So I'll look at what I have scheduled out, and I will then look at that category, and we'll start blocking things off in that time frame. So for example, for tomorrow, I'm actually going to be focusing on lesson 1 of hypnosis, because that's going to be 2 hours, and I have a 2-hour block for school from 11 to 12. So I'm just going to put that down for Wednesday. Hypnosis, lesson 1. And then I'm going to put in also video for NLP. And then for business stuff, I'm going to create the survey. So those are going to be my top 3 tasks for tomorrow, Wednesday. It doesn't mean that I won't work on more things on top of these 3 things. It just means that if nothing else gets done, thank God I at least got these 3 things done. Anything else that gets done on top of these top 3 priorities is just icing on the cake. And that's how I basically plan out my month and how I would do it now that I'm taking online classes. So that's basically it. And I was able to get this to an hour, which is nice. And if you have any questions, you can just leave it in the comments. I keep looking at this camera over here when I should be looking here. Just leave them in the comments. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.